Hi hopefuls, I hope that you're well. This is my last video. Are you okay? This is my last video of October, and I just wanted to do a wrap up of all of the reading I've done during the month of October. I was able to do a lot of reading, especially in the beginning part of the month. I did the bulk of my reading in the middle of the month and finished our book club book in the first week. For the entire month, I finished 6 books, and I don't anticipate that I will be finishing any more books for this month. I was surprised to see that my most popular genre was romance, because some of these books kind of snuck up on me as being romance. Like, I did not expect the X-Hex to be a romance book. I was very surprised by that. I also go into books really blind, so I think the X-Hex is kind of going around the book realm at the moment, so I'm sure a lot of people realized that it was romance, but I didn't really read anything on the book. I saw it on a shelf in a used bookstore months ago, and I really liked the cover, because I do that judging books by cover thing. I read mainly fiction books, which is what I like to read. I like to just turn my brain off when I do a lot of reading. I read in all of the mediums, physical, audio, and digital. I touched on all of those. My one audiobook was an autobiography, so that was my one nonfiction book, because I really like to listen to my autobiographies and my nonfiction books. I feel like I can absorb it a little bit better, and I can imagine it being told more from the person, especially with the autobiographies. It's my favorite way to get those books into this noggin. It took me on average 27 days to finish reading the 6 books that I read this month. And I think the biggest reason why that number is so high is because I did technically start listening to Matthew Perry's autobiography in July, and I started reading Secrets in Summer in August. So obviously those kind of brought that number up, even though any books that I started in the month of October I read really quickly, like The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, The Winter People, Pumpkin Spice Cafe, The X-Hex. Those books, slurped them right up within for anywhere from 2 to 6 days. I feel like I've read all of those. So because of those other books being started in different months, it really brought the average finish time way up to 27, which happens. I start listening to books or start reading books, and then I fall off of them, and I'll pick up other books because they're just easier for me to read. So that's what happened here. My highest rated book was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. We've talked about that a lot now this month, but I really loved that book. I would have read that book faster, but I wanted to slow down and pace myself and make sure that I filmed those videos over this past month. So that one was my highest rated book. My lowest rated book was Secrets in Summer. There's a reason why I stopped reading it during the month of August. And I know, like, it's not a great idea to force yourself to finish books. I just try to like push through, especially if they're that under 400 page mark. I feel like it's doable if you read a couple chapters a night. My fastest read this month was The Winter People. I think I read that book in 24 hours. I could not stop thinking about that book. I had to read it. I read that book during the day. I usually do a lot of my reading at night or in the evenings, but I had woke up and I would start reading The Winter People. It was enthralling. I loved it so much. I think it was probably the most gripping book of the month. It was creepy. That was my horror book of the month. I don't really read a lot of horror, so I had so much fun reading that book. I have read every single day in the month of October. Even if I only read 1 page, it counts as reading. So I made sure that at least a couple of those days I did read any of the pages, just to make sure that I hit my streak. I read a total of 1,761 pages this month, which is great for me. I'm so happy because this month, since I read 6 books, I got myself back on track with my yearly reading goal for the year. So I'm so excited that I've been able to read so much at the beginning part of this month, and I was able to get back on track with my reading goal, which is fantastic. I am really excited to be doing more reading, and I really enjoyed us doing like this book club this month. I thought it was really fun to be reading the same book at the same time as the two of you, so that was really fun, and I do hope that we do this again in the future. I'm excited to see what you guys thought about us doing this reading month, and I will meet you back here next Tuesday.